Coming up on Mountain News this morning, some new data shows a concerning increase in the number of traffic deaths here in the Commonwealth, and an intense situation at this year's Kentucky State Fair leads to the arrest of nearly 10 people.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning, 5:32, and it's Monday. The weekend is over. Let's head over to Brandon Robinson for a look at our forecast this morning. And you know, Brandon, I should be more pumped up this morning because we're back together.
That's right.
And here I am complaining that the weekend is over.
I know, but it's okay.
Yeah. Well, I had 2 days off. You had 8, but we won't go there.
It's okay.
So.
Well, actually, technically, you had 4.
Well, that's right. Well, I had 2 days off, like in the week. You know what I mean?
So there you go.
But I don't really count Saturday and Sunday because that's my normal weekend.
That's fair.
But anyway.
So if you don't count your normal weekends, I actually had 6.
There we go.
So
I think that's more factually correct.
That's exactly right. All right, let's get into this forecast this morning. And if you're coming off the weekend, it's going to be a hard start to Monday. Some patchy dense fog out there this morning. Take a look at Pikeville over at the US 119, US 23 intersection. And again, lots of traffic cones. They're doing some work over there. So be careful in that area today. 69 the forecast out there this morning. 65 in Clintwood over in Southwest Virginia. 64 the cool spot. In Wise on the other end, 70. Logan, Prestonsburg, London, and Somerset. A lot of mid to upper 60s out there this morning. The difference between yesterday and today, about 4 degrees colder. Hazard and Moorhead down toward Middlesboro. It is 5 degrees colder and a couple of degrees colder out there into parts of London and Harlan and Jonesville, Pikeville, Prestonsburg, but 2 degrees warmer in Logan this morning. Your day planner heading up into the 60s by basically pretty much right now, about 68, give or take a degree or 2. And then we'll see 80s by later this afternoon with some clearing skies, slow clearing, maybe a straight chance for a passing shower or storm as we head deeper into the daytime hours. Dakota?
All right, Brendan, thank you. A longtime radio personality from Lexington is being remembered for his contributions to the community. A memorial was held Sunday for Carl Shannon, who died several months ago. Shannon entertained country music audiences for more than 50 years. He had a passion for country music, but he was also a lover of classic cars. He hosted several car shows raising money for St. Jude, UK Hospital, and Waveland State Historical Site. And this year, the tradition continued, this time remembering Carl Shannon.
I don't know if you've ever been to Waveland, but it's a wonderful place, and I just fell in love with it last year. Talked about doing a car cruise, so we're just going to have people bring their cars they love, you know, if they got old ones or, you know, street rods or whatever.
And there was definitely a big collection of cars this year, full of people with fond memories of Carl. Nearly 2 months ago, a devastating shooting took the lives of 3 officers and 1 canine officer in Floyd County. Now people in Jessamine County are coming together to show support for their police officers and their own canine officer. Jessamine County Sheriff's Office received an anonymous donation to buy a bulletproof vest for their canine officer, Macho Man. Sheriff Anthony Purcell says someone called and told them to pick out whichever vest they wanted for Macho and then sent the money for it. The vest can cost upwards of $800. People in Jessamine County commented on a Facebook post from the police department saying how special this donation is. Well, the sheriff says they're all so grateful for the donation and the positive reactions from the community.
It makes you feel, you know, definitely appreciated because sometimes in law enforcement, you don't always feel that way. And, you know, everybody, you know, making the comments, you know, the donation in and of itself, it does. It makes you feel good. And, you know, it lets you know where you stand in the community.
And while Macho Man is still getting used to wearing that bulletproof vest, the officers say they're so grateful to have the community support. And while the woman who donated the funds wished to remain anonymous, those with the department say they know who she is and they are very appreciative of the gift. New government numbers show 2022 is off to a rough start when it comes to traffic deaths throughout Kentucky. Traffic deaths are increasing. In the first quarter of 2022, 206 people died in Kentucky crashes, a 27.2% increase during the first quarter of last year, almost 4 times the national rate. In the first 3 months of the year, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration estimates more than 9,500 people in the U.S. died in crashes, an increase compared to last year of about 7%. There is no one reason behind it, but bad habits seem to be more prevalent.
I feel like I just see people on their phones a lot more often now while they're driving, and driving really fast, especially on the highways, and generally just not paying attention like they should be anymore.
Kentucky is a part of a cluster of middle Atlantic states, the worst part of the country when you look at jumps in traffic deaths. Not only did deaths in this area increase 52% compared to last year, but the same region showed the rate of deaths was also increasing. That means passengers in crashes in 2022 are more likely to die than last year. Well, 9 people were arrested after an incident at the Kentucky State Fair just after 9 o'clock Saturday night. State police troopers say they responded to a disturbance in front of the Midway and arrested 8 people, while State Fair police took another person into custody. 3 of them were adults, 6 were minors, and all were from Jefferson County. Charges include disorderly conduct, menacing, possession of stolen property, and possession of a handgun. As a safety precaution, the fair closed early. Initial reports indicate fairgoers reported hearing gunshots, but police later learned a group of people caused panic with noise-making devices.
We didn't know what was going on, but we just heard it out of nowhere. We were just walking, and then we ran all the way on the other side of the building, all the way out the back, and we walked all the way to the front gate to a hotel, like near somewhere closer. But it was like a long walk, so we just kept running.
Well, again, we don't know if this was a shooting or not, as KSP is only calling it an incident right now. The State Fair Board is now requiring kids younger than 18 to be accompanied by a parent or guardian 21 or older after 6 p.m. Well, in more positive news from the State Fair, the largest pumpkin was crowned on Saturday. Josh Monin's pumpkin was chosen as the winner. It weighs a total of 1,508.2 pounds. It defeated 9 other competitors and earned a Monin dollar for every pound of pumpkin he brought to the scale. The Kentucky State Fair runs through August 28th. Well, county fair season is starting to wind down. Crowds of people enjoy their time at the county fair over in Boyd County during the weekend. Tony Cavalier was able to stop by, letting some kids who are members of the 4-H tell their own stories of fun at the fair in their own words.
Tell me, that's an interesting story with you and your goat.
I got her when she was 3 months old, and she never been touched. And if you don't fool with the goat and like play with them when they're born, they get wild. So I got her when she was 3 months old, and I've had 3 months to work with her to get her walking.
Does she think that you are her mother?
I mean, she's still a little wild.
Really fun because you get to spend time with other goats and you get to spend time with your goat mostly.
Grand champion.
Grand champion?
Yes.
How'd you manage that?
I don't know, a lot of practice.
Handle a 900-pound Angus steer.
I don't know, a lot of work, I guess. I love being in the 4-H. It's mainly family, friends.
Take to win a blue ribbon here at the fair?
Took definitely hard work and training. Feed the eggs to my other chickens because it helps them produce calcium.
Wow. Okay, so there's a little lesson in science there, isn't there?
If you're raising and training an animal, you don't just do it once. You have to continuously train your animal until it gets better and better.
It's fun to sit here and cuddle with them because most of them, they're real calm and they like to cuddle with you. And you could just sit here and pet them all.
Ever since I was little, my mom's always had me up on the horse with her, so she's just really made a really big impact in me. It's taught me a lot of hard work and just how to be responsible. It just really pace yourself through life in many different ways, and I'm forever thankful for the 4-H and what it's done for me and my family.
Pretty hard. He's kind of antsy today, and he's just ready to go. Whoa, easy boy. And it's my favorite thing to do.
It's part of hanging out with the kids in 4-H off the Midway at the Boyd County Fair.
Well, Saturday was the last night of the Boyd County Fair. It wrapped up with an old-fashioned rodeo roundup at the Robinette Horse Show Ring. Well, just had this morning, one of the newest additions at a major zoo in Ohio makes his public debut. We'll have those details in just a few minutes.
And rain chances are out there this morning. At least they were. Some drier air will move in later this week. I'll have that latest forecast in about 3 minutes.